The opinions and views expressed in the following program are those of the speakers and the host, and do not necessarily reflect those of Yoakley Scott Corporation and your sports network.
Yeah, I've been closer to Jesus before, so can you help me out? Oh, can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? But can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Can you help me out? I've been scared to look in my soul. I've been afraid I would follow the road. Yeah, afraid of the things I've been told.
What is up, everybody? Welcome into the last running point of the week. It's a Friday episode, and we are always brought to you by our good friends over at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. They go the extra mile for you. Going to go ahead and put them in the top right corner like I always do, so you know where to go if you are in the market for a new or used vehicle. Make sure to check out our friends at Greenwood Chevrolet. They go the extra mile for you. We try to do the same here on this show every single day, and we thank them for their constant sponsorship and belief in us since day one of Running Point. We'll talk to you more about Greenwood and the things they have going on a little bit later in the show. Gonna have a good one for you today. We're going to recap the limited action we had last night. Unfortunately, Mother Nature came in with a mighty storm. I mean, there was hail last night here in Boardman. I don't know how bad it got in Struthers at Bobstein Park, but I'm sitting here and, you can hear the clicking on the window, and you know that something solid is coming down. It's not rain. Of course, you mix that with lightning and thunder, and that's never a fun time for outdoor activities. So a lot of the baseball games last night got axed or suspended, but we have word from Steve Leslie, who is our GM and our correspondent down there at Bobstein Park. It has not changed the schedule for today. So the NABF schedule for today, as of now, as far as Steve Leslie reported to us about an hour ago, that the schedule for today has stayed the same. So if you're looking at the NABF schedule and you want to see what games are going on today, it is exactly the same as it was before yesterday's rain. We did have one Class B team get in a game before the rains came and the storms came. It was Whiting that got the 9-1 victory to open up their NABF play. So Whiting wins 9-1, and everyone else in the Class B baseball world that is playing in the NABF, they all had their games delayed because of weather. So Nightline was in action, Avalanche was in action, Astro Falcons were in action, but they all had their games suspended. So we will await those scores, and we'll see what those teams can do today. It's another full slate of NABF action at Bobstein Park. I'm going to pull up the spreadsheet real quick so I can let you know who's going to be where, but it's, I believe, another day of 12 games in NABF action. Joe Eusebio is down there right now, calling the Scene 1 game at 12:30. He'll stay down there for the 3 o'clock game on Scene 1. Noah Doty will relieve him for the Nightcaps at 5:30 and 8 on Scene 1. And then on Scene 3, Mike McKenzie will be there. He's there right now. He'll be there at 3. And then Scene 3 will transition to video only for the Nightcaps at 5:30 and 8. There's also 4 games going on at Scene 2. So another 12 game day at the NABF World Series. And I'm going to pull up their schedule, which you can find on Twitter, and the handle is NABF Info. They have live updates for the games, and they also have the schedules for the weekends up on their Twitter account. Make sure to follow them for all the live updates of all the games that are going on. If you're unable to pull up our broadcast, or you want to see what the other games are doing while you're watching one of our broadcasts, then feel free to head over to NABF Info on Twitter. Give them a follow and tell them that we sent you. Scrolling down more than I thought for this schedule. There it is. So let's see. Today we have Avalanche versus the Ohio Tide. That's the one going on right now. It started at 12:30. These are the Scene 1 games. At 3 o'clock on Scene 1, it'll be Nightline versus Avalanche. That'll be a familiar opponent. Then at Scene 1 at 5:30, it's going to be the Astro Falcons taking on the Ohio Longhorns Spears crew. And then to round out the night on Scene 1, Astro Falcons will have a doubleheader. They will play the BHM Buckeyes at 8 o'clock. We move on to Scene 2. Here are the games that are going on today on Scene 2 for the NABF World Series. We have the Boys of Summer taking on the Ohio Longhorns Lally. That'll be happening right now. 3 o'clock after that, Whiting is in action against the Ohio Longhorns Lally. And then Whiting will play their second game of the day at 5:30 against the Boys of Summer. And then the night rounds off on Scene 2 with the Titans versus the Troy Legends. 4 more games on Scene 3. The Ohio Longhorns DiMarino taking on the Premier Ohio Cook. That's happening right now. At 3 o'clock, the BHM Buckeyes take on Sayo Grays. Let's see, at 5:30, you're going to have the Sharks and the Sayo Grays. And then at 8 o'clock, you're going to have the Ohio Longhorns taking on the Sharks. So that's what your day looks like on Scene 3. There's going to be 6 games tomorrow on Saturday. This is scheduled, and the quarterfinals happen tomorrow. Championships will go on, semifinals and championships will go on Sunday. So tomorrow is going to be your last games, round 4 and 5, and then the quarterfinals will be tomorrow. The consolation games will be tomorrow as well, and then the semifinals and championships should say championship will be on Sunday. That's how the weekend looks at Bob Seam Park. A lot of baseball to be played still, and I assume, we don't know when yet, but I assume they're still going to try and finish the games that they had to stop last night as well at some point. Like I said, we've heard from Steve Leslie about an hour ago. As of now, the schedule for today has not changed, so I'm not sure when they're going to try to restart those games, but it looks like it's not going to be today. It looks like today's going to be exactly the way it was planned, and they'll move on from there. We have other stuff that's going on over the weekend that's going to be very exciting when we talk about the Little League action. All the baseball state tournaments are starting, and we have someone from the district in all of them. Obviously, 12U was last weekend. Boardman went down there to compete in the 12U state tournament. Won 1 game, lost 2, but they had a great run. But we have our 11U Boardman team. They are going to be sent off tomorrow at 9:30. Excuse me, at Chili's. Remember, they'll be at Chili's if you want to send them off on their trip to state. Poland 10U is going to be actually on the road. I think I saw it on Instagram. On the road already on their way to state. They won district. And then our Boardman 9U team will also be heading off to state. I believe Boardman 10U is sending a team as well. I think the 10U district is sending 2. If I'm not mistaken, I saw that Boardman's 10U was heading to state too. So all those baseball teams heading off to a state tournament game. We wish them the best of luck. And then, of course, Austintown softball 12U, the feature of today's show. They're going to be heading off to regionals, which is one step ahead of baseball. So regionals in the Little League World Series, one step away from the Little League World Series, I should say. So they'll be playing the Iowa State champion on the 23rd, which is Sunday at 1 o'clock on ESPN+. So don't miss that. That's going to be a fun one. Then obviously we will also keep up to date on Poland and Boardman squads that are all competing at state. You can follow all those teams on Game Changer. It's a great avenue to follow what's going on down there, and we will try to get recaps up on the website as well for all those games. As I said, Austintown 12U softball team heading to regionals. They are one step away from the Little League World Series, and this is our second year in a row as a YSN covering the softball tournament that we've had a team go to regionals. Last year, Boardman went. They got a win down there in regionals. Eventually fell in regionals. Austintown trying to be a team that punches their ticket to the Little League World Series in North Carolina. We're so excited that they're able to do it. Covering this Austintown team during their district run was so fun, but at the same time, it was tenuous. I mean, there were a lot of crazy things that went on during the district. A lot of weather delays, a lot of trying to manage your roster with the travel schedule. Obviously, that came into effect when the tournament got kind of pushed to weekends. You had to deal with players having to make decisions. Matt Hamley talks about it when we're going to hear his interview a little bit later on in the show. A lot of people had to make decisions. Do you go with your travel team, or do you stay with this Austintown team and try to win a district? And to watch them deal with all that, navigate all that, every team had to navigate it. It wasn't just Austintown. And I'll tell you what, I think this was the best district in the state, hands down. I think even Howland, who lost to Austintown 4-3, lost to Boardman by 1 run, Howland deserved to be in the mix of this district. They were a good team. Someone has to be eliminated down the losers bracket. That's just how it goes. But I thought Howland had a lot of really good players, just like Austintown and Boardman, and they just came on the wrong end of really close games against both those teams. But then Austintown, the way they were able to lose to Boardman on the Friday night, have to come right back Saturday morning at 10 a.m. and play a really good Howland team that only lost to Boardman by 1 run, and to navigate not just beating them, but also having to deal with weather. Remember, that game was back and forth the whole time. Austintown took a late lead in the 6th, and then before they could get through at the 6th inning, the skies opened up, it poured down, it stormed, and they had to delay that game, I believe, Saturday to Wednesday. And Austintown had to come back and finish that game, and then if they were to win that game, which they did, they'd have to go back a couple hours later and play Boardman again. So that's a lot to kind of to navigate in a small amount of time. And of course, Austintown was able to do it. They beat Boardman that night 7-0 to go into an if necessary game. But then, hey, weather hit again, right? Remember, that game, that 7-0 game, was to push that district into an if necessary game because Boardman was the undefeated team going into that game. Austintown needed to beat them twice to win a district. We show up on Thursday. We're ready to go. We're ready for a championship. Mother Nature says not so fast. Rains come. Fields are unplayable. And state was Saturday. They could not push that game back any further. Teams had to leave for state the next day. So a de facto way to decide the district champion. Both teams were going to state anyway. Austintown was the district champion. But then they got to earn it at the state level. They got to go and they got to play Boardman again. They beat Boardman again 11-0. They kind of proved that they were at this point in time the better team, and they won their state eventually, beating Clay in the state championship the next game. So Austintown has been impressive the whole time. They've only allowed 4 runs through 7 games so far. They've scored 54 runs through 7 games, so they've outscored their opponents 54-4 in 7 games played. By the way, 3 of those runs came in 1 game. Howland they beat 4-3. So I'm sorry, 7 runs. 3 of those came in 1 game. 3 of them came in another game. So 6 of those runs came in just 2 games. They lost to Boardman 3-1. They beat Howland 4-3. And then everything else was pretty much a wash. They allowed 1 run in another game, but everything else just absolute domination from Austintown. 54 runs scored. And Mila Hamley has only given up 3 earned runs the whole time. She has struck out 49 batters so far in between districts and regionals. She's going on all cylinders. And that's someone you're going to hear from in this interview a little bit later. And then Annabelle Mikesell as well has brought the power this year. Extra base hits all over the place. Won the home run derby for the district. Won the home run derby for the state. And then Mila Hamley also won the state fastest pitch competition as well. So Mila Hamley can say that she has the best velocity in the state of Ohio for the 12U division. So that's impressive, especially coming from someone that's making their first year in the 12U. Remember that she was a part of the 10U team last year that won state for Austintown. So making the first trip into 12U, taking that next step up, and being ready for it, I was impressed with everyone on the Austintown team. Just to shout out a couple more that I've seen this year that have just been like, you are going to know these names in the future, no doubt. And I texted Coach Ward after the district was over, and I said, you are so lucky to have these like, you are blessed with riches. What's wrong with you? As soon as Sydney Watts graduates, you're going to get Mila Hamley going into her freshman year. Come on, what are you doing? But anyway, so I've really Seneca Coates was just probably the fastest kid in districts, playing center field, leading off the lineup for Austintown. That was really fun to watch. Bella Baumgart, great catcher, absolutely stud athlete, great hitter as well for Austintown. I was impressed with Lexi Petrilla as well, coming in a big spot in that Austintown game, hitting a triple to give Austintown the lead, or I should say tie up that game 3-3. That's a big spot. She was in the bottom of the order, the last hitter in the order. She hit a triple, set up the top half, and Austintown would eventually score one more and win that game 4-3. Really impressed with everyone on this roster, and can't wait to see what they're able to do on Sunday in this regional tournament. So with that being said, as we have promoted, we are going to play an interview that I recorded this morning with some members of that Austintown 12U softball team that is going to regionals. We have head coach Matt Hamley, we have ace pitcher Mila Hamley, and we have one of their big bats and Annabelle Mikesell. They were all able to join me, and I'm going to play that interview for you now so you guys can enjoy it. Here are some members of the Austintown 12U softball team as they get ready for a regional tournament this weekend. Anthony Hartwig here with a very special Austintown 12U softball coaches corner / player profiles. We're joined by Matt Hamley, the head coach of the Austintown 12U Little League softball team, and then we're also joined by two of the members of that team in Mila Hamley and Annabelle Mikesell. Everyone, thanks so much for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you.
Coach, you are the one we're going to start with. We're gonna ask you about your perspective here for this summer that has been wild, right? From the districts to the state to now here you are in regionals, weather, rosters, trying to lock it with travel. It's been just a wild roller coaster ride. From your perspective, what's it been like seeing this team navigate through the ups and downs of district, state, and now obviously getting ready for regionals?
That's a great description of our journey so far. It's been wild. Like you said, with the district tournament, we had some weather issues. Then we took a loss to Boardman, and then we came back to play Howland. More rain, got delayed a few more days. Ended up finishing that game up, and then we played Boardman again in a wild environment. We came away with the win that night, and we were supposed to play the next day, and more rain happened, so we got canceled. Both of us headed down to the state tournament, where we ended up seeing each other again down there. Another crazy game, and then we went on to beat Clay in the championship. But the past 2-3 weeks have been an absolute whirlwind of just logistics, getting people, getting families and the players where we needed to be, and raising money to help get the families there. We finished up in Boardman at the district tournament, And that Thursday, the day that the if game got rained out, we decided as a team that day whether or not we were going down to Ironton to make the trip. And we decided as a group after watching them play the night before, we actually absolutely had to give the girls an opportunity to go down there and compete at state. So we did that. So within 24 hours, we booked hotels and jumped in our cars, flew down to Ironton, and then from there, we won state on a Wednesday morning. And a few of us jumped in a car, and we were supposed to be in Ocean City, Maryland, for our travel ball tournament and / vacation on that past Monday. So we got to the beach a few days late, but we jumped in the car from Ironton, drove 9 hours to Ocean City. And during that drive, and as we arrived there, we found out, obviously we had won the state tournament, but then we found out all the paperwork and computer work that was going to come with advancing to the regional tournament. So it's been nonstop paperwork, phone calls, conversations, computer work, meetings, interviews, Zoom meetings. So it's been a crazy, wild ride.
Let's zero in on the district first and talk about this experience because, like you said, like it was a wild district. Not only weather, but a lot of good teams down there as well. You'll lose your first game to Boardman 3-1, and then you have to come right back and you have to play a really good Howland team, and you have to separate that game into 2 days. So let's talk about both those games. One, how did you bounce back from the first loss to Boardman and having to come out of the losers bracket to win a district? And then what was that game with Howland like where it's a really close game and you have to stop it in the last inning when you guys just took a lead and then carry that momentum over into what, like 3 or 4 days later when you restarted that game? What were those two experiences like?
So the first loss to Boardman, we had actually beat Canfield a couple days before, and then our second game was against Boardman. And that loss, we were actually missing 2 of our players, our leadoff hitter and our cleanup hitter, both starting center fielder and starting catcher. But even with missing them, we had an opportunity to beat Boardman that day. And they just came out that day. They were the away team, and we came out a little flat. I don't know if it was, some missed pitches or whatever, but Boardman was ready to hit the ball, and they did. Their first 5 hitters all got on base, hit the ball, and they scored 3 runs on us in the very first inning. So we're sitting there 5 batters in, we're down 3-0 with no outs, kind of looking for like a rewind button to restart that game. But after that point, our defense settled in. We didn't allow another run the rest of the game. And then offensively, we came back, and I believe we scored a run in the bottom of the first inning. After that, though, we had multiple opportunities where we had runners on base. We had runners in scoring position on second and third. And I missed opportunities where I should have bunted, but I let the girl swing away, and we didn't get the outcomes that we wanted. So we left runs on the board, and we ended up losing that game 3-1. But leaving that game, I felt very good about where we were as a team, and I was hoping that we would get a chance to see them again. And I knew full strength that we would have a good chance to come away with the win if we got to see them again. So we lost that first game to Boardman on a Friday night, and then we had to play Howland the next morning. There were players missing from both of those teams, and we had to just go handle the game the best we could. So we went out there, and I believe they scored on us first again in that game. We were down 1-0. I believe we tied it up 1-1, and then there was a moment in the game. I want to say the 4th inning. We were down 3-1. We made a couple errors in the field, and we were down 3-1, and it was not looking good for us. The bottom of our lineup came up to bat in the bottom of the 4th inning or top of the 5th or something, and I believe top of the 5th, and we were able to get a runner on base. Lexi Petrilla ended up hitting a triple to make the score 3-2 with her on third base. She eventually scored to tie it up, make it 3-3. Then they got us out of that inning. Then in the 6th inning, we took the lead, like you said. We went up 4-3, and then rain and lightning struck. So that delayed the game. So that was Saturday morning. We ended up not playing the rest of that game until Wednesday. where we picked right back up where we left off. We were up 4-3 with 2 outs and a 1-1 count on Zara Burt. She ended up getting walked in that at bat once we started the game again. They ended up holding us, and then we knew we had to go make 3 outs to end the game, and we were able to do that. First batter up smacked a line drive to our third baseman, Bella Mattern, caught that ball. I believe we got a walk. I think there was a girl on first base after that, maybe a hit or a walk. I can't remember exactly. But then I believe we got a strikeout. And then after the strikeout, our catcher, Zara Bird at the time, threw down to first base, and they got the girl in a pickle, and they executed it well and got the third out, which then it let us advance to the district championship game against Boardman, which was that night a few hours later. So we just regrouped. We took a little break, got something to eat, talked with the girls, and then we had to warm up again an hour and a half later or so, and we were ready to go against Boardman. And then once we started that game, we jumped on them this time, and our offense put pressure on them, and defensively we shut them down. We ended up winning that game 7-0. The environment was crazy. Our girls handled it like professionals, and we came away with the victory.
Now, the next day is when rain came again, and you guys couldn't get that second game against Boardman, and you kind of had to decide it in state. Both teams were going to state. Both teams got a win in their first game, and you kind of – I think both teams went down there knowing that you'd have to go through the other one to get a state championship. I think everyone down here knew it. Everyone up there knew it. What was it like to play them in state with even more on the line, and the rivalry kind of continues from district to state?
Well, yeah, like you said, we headed back Thursday to play the IF game, and then rain happened, and we didn't get to play that game. So we knew, like you said, we were both going down to state, and there was a great chance that we were going to go through each other down there. Maybe not even once, maybe a couple times. I mean, there's potential to play 3 more games against each other down there. We started off with a win against Ashtabula. Then we were sitting there waiting. Boardman came away with the win against Rock Hill. Then they defeated Clay the next day. Well, actually, we had more rain down there the next day. And then the following day, they defeated Clay, which would then set up another matchup with us. And that, I believe that was a Monday afternoon game against Boardman. And that game actually topped the first game as far as craziness goes. But our team was able to come away with another convincing victory. We beat them 11-0, which knocked them down into the losers bracket where they had to play Clay that night. And Clay ended up beating them that night, which then meant we would not see them again. We would see Clay in the championship game Wednesday morning. But Boardman was a great team. We knew there was a good chance we were the best 2 teams in the state, and we would have to go through each other again. So we ended up playing 3 games against each other, and we came out victorious in 2 of them.
Now let's talk about the excitement that you guys have felt over the last week now, getting ready for regionals. You're kind of taking that next step of level of competition from best in the state to now best in the region. Every state sending their best team down here. What's that been like to prepare and to get excited in the anticipation for regionals?
Yeah, so it's a different, a different approach, as you will, heading into this regional tournament where we really don't know anything about any of these teams. All we do know is it's the best team from every state representing this region. We get Iowa. We've looked a little bit into Game Changer and, as much as we could on Facebook just to see a little bit about the team. And all these teams look like the real deal teams, and I think everybody's going to be there to compete. But I told the girls yesterday, we had a hitting practice yesterday, and we had a fielding practice the day before. We just told the girls, we go down there, we handle ourselves the way we do, and we play our game. I feel like we'll be able to compete with anybody.
You talked a little bit before about the community and how they've been able to back you guys up and kind of change on a dime when you guys decide you're going to state and make all these schedule things happen. What's it been like for you as a coach to see everyone that's involved in ACB, Alliston Community Baseball, back you guys and make sure you guys are getting everything you need to go to state, go to regionals, and succeed as much as you can.
Man, it's been awesome, the support that I've had personally. Like I said, a lot of paperwork is involved, a lot of logistical planning, making sure all the families can get there, all the kids can get there, ourselves, our coaches. It's tough to just make plans on a few days notice to get down to Ironton, and now the next step is Whitestown, Indiana. It's not just to drive down the street. So all of the families have been absolutely fantastic, and we're doing everything we can to get everybody down there, whether it's carpooling or whatever it is. And then as far as our league goes, ACB has been absolutely fantastic. Our president Buzz Palkovic has helped us so much. As soon as we decided we were going down to the state tournament, our league decided that they wanted to help our families out, and they were able to help each family out financially a little bit to get us down there, which took a huge burden of the financial stress of the travel and the hotel stays for 5 days down there in Ironton. So they helped us out a tremendous amount with that. Then they ordered all of our girls brand new helmets. We just got those. And then once we realized we were going to the regional tournament, I felt like the fundraising had to start again. So we started a GoFundMe. And one of the dads on the team, Greg Fonda, has been a huge help behind the scenes, been on the phone, making phone calls to different businesses and the Austintown Board of Trustees and the school board, anything he can do to help. And also the other families, reaching out to local businesses as well, getting donations, sharing the GoFundMes. We had the dine and donate at Sam's Wedge Inn the other night. We're looking to Barry Dingles has also helped us out, and then just over the overall community. It's been heartwarming. It's been fantastic. The support. Also, Steve Ward and the Austintown Fish softball team, they've always supported us the past few years. Anything we need, anything we ask for, they've been great. So just the whole entire community of Austintown, it's been quoted before, like we're becoming a softball town, and it's great just to see all the love and support that Austintown has for the girls and the softball team.
We went over it a little bit, but this is right in the middle of travel season too. All this is going on. Girls have travel responsibilities as well. What's it been like as a coach to balance this with everyone's travel ball responsibilities and trying to mix and match with teams and work with schedules and things like that?
It's been crazy, to say the least. All of these girls on my team itself, we have 13 girls on our Austintown team. Excuse me. 12 of those girls play travel ball, and most at a very high level, which requires lots of traveling, and it's been absolutely crazy. The families and the players, unfortunately, at times have had to make decisions on whether are you going to go to your travel ball games or your travel tournament, or are you going to be able to make the Austintown little league stuff, and so far we've had to make some sacrifices here and there where some girls missed. But overall, as our team goes, they've done a great job handling it and balancing it and being here for our Austintown team as much as possible. Now, with that, I have to shout out our travel ball coach, Alicia Perry, who I'm sure you're familiar with in Howland, who took a huge stress off of me. Going into, we literally jumped in the car from Ironton to head to our national travel ball tournament in Ocean City, and Coach Alicia helped me and our Beverly Bandits team find a sub. In her name is Gia Verona from Poland. You'll hear a lot more about her in the future. Great player, great family, and they were willing to help me out and a couple of our girls, Mila and Annabelle. And Gia went in and filled in for us at our national tournament, which in return let Annabelle and Mila stay at our state tournament, so that way we can finish the tournament. So the amount of support we've had all around with our travel ball coaches, with our families, friends of families, it's been fantastic.
All right, we've made your players wait long enough. The real superstars are sitting right next to you, the ones that have been putting the work on the field. We have Mila Hamley and Annabelle Mikesell sitting next to you, ready to join us a little bit.
Yes, sir.
Matt, you can stick around too, because we'll probably ask you some of these questions too.
Okay.
But
Awesome.
let's get the real stars in the fold a little bit.
All right, let us set up this camera a little better for them.
What about me?
All right, there you
go. Girls, thank you guys so much for giving us your time a little bit and coming on and doing this with us as well, having some fun. So my first question, whoever wants to go first can go first, because it's for both of you. We asked your coach what it was like to go through all the ups and downs of district. From your guys' perspective, what was it like going through all the weather delays and the great teams that were down there? What was it like going through districts and getting wins in the district tournament?
We definitely put a lot of hard work in before our rec season even started, and I think our work really paid off.
Annabelle, what about you? What was it like for you to go through all that ups and downs and the adversity in the district tournament?
It was very, it was exciting, but it was also very stressful for a lot of the parents, and the parents put in a lot of work for us to get where we are going and what we're doing, but we also put in work for it too.
All right, Mila, you do a lot of work inside the circle. It all starts with the pitching, of course, and every softball success. What's it been like for you to go through all the games that you've gone and played this summer and to put so much on your shoulders as a pitcher and to be able to succeed the way you have?
Me and my family definitely put in a lot of hard work between travel and rec season.
Annabelle, what's it like to play defense behind a pitcher like Mila? I mean, you don't have to do a lot of work. She strikes out so many hitters. What's it like to stay focused back there and help her out?
I definitely do have to stay focused, because sometimes I'm just watching what's happening with the batter, but when a ball does come to me, sometimes it's a little hard to focus on what I'm doing.
Mila, I've watched your bullpens before games and the work that you put in pregame to make sure you're in the right spot. Talk us through what it kind of takes to get yourself in the right mental state before a game and to make sure all your stuff is working, and what kind of you do pregame routine to get yourself in the right spot.
Definitely a great warm-up. That's when it really starts, with a good warm-up, and make sure that all my pitches are working correctly.
What's your favorite pitch to throw? What's the one that you know, okay, if this one's working, I'm going to have a good day?
Definitely my movement pitches between my screwballs and my curveballs. They're usually on point.
To develop as many pitches as you have, obviously, you're putting in a lot of work, right? You're putting in a lot of work into softball. You got to love it to do it. What do you love so much about this sport and to be able to play it as much as you do?
Probably that everyone has a different role on the team, between hitters, outfielders, great fielders. I think it's definitely a team sport, and everyone has to put in the work to have a great team.
You guys both went down to state and won some of those pre-tournament, I guess you'd call them events you could have. Annabelle, I'll start with you. You won the home run derby, both in the district and then in the state. What's it been like to you to kind of see your power, grow into your power, and to be able to see the ball go over the fence? I know you also hit your first career over the fence home run this summer as part of a travel ball. So what's it been like to grow into your power and start seeing that ball go over the fence a little bit?
It's been very exciting to see my growth and what I've done, because last year I wasn't that consistent with hitting, but this year I've been much more consistent with hitting the ball, and I've been seeing the ball very well. It's very exciting to see my improvement.
What do you think has been the biggest change from last year to this year in your hitting? What kind of things did you work on in the last year to make yourself the hitter you are right now?
My form. It all comes down to the form of hitting the ball, hips and then hands. It's the form. You have to have good form to hit the ball.
All right, Mila, you also won a contest, I guess you could call it, down there with the high velocity fastest pitch contest. What's it like to know that you were the fastest arm in the state and you have the best velocity in the state of Ohio?
Feels great, honestly, because I'm able to see my growth and pitching. And last year, I threw good, but it's good to see how much work I've put in and see it all pay off.
How much confidence did that give you before the state even started to know, like, I just won the velocity contest and I have the fastest stuff in the state?
It's pretty good.
Let's talk about the personality of this dugout. When you go to an Austintown 12U game, you're going to see a lot of dancing. You're going to see a lot of jokes. You're going to see a lot of fun in that dugout. I know everyone in the dugout is not here to talk for the team, but for you guys and your perspective, what's it like being with all these girls and just having fun as much as you can with the players that you have on your team?
Very energetic and just fun to be around. There's lots of cheering and
Yeah, it's exciting because if we're not doing a cheer, someone's making everyone laugh in the dugout. It just keeps the energy going through everything. And if something doesn't go right, we pick each other up and make sure the next play or next hit goes right.
I hear a lot of good chants come out of that dugout. You each have to tell me your favorite chant that you guys have as a team.
I don't really know which one.
They're all good. It's all good. It's a hard choice. I want to ask you also about the Austintown Fitch High School team. Obviously, Coach Hamley talked about how much they support you guys. They won a state this year. What's it been like to watch girls in the high school level that have reached the top of the mountain and still pour energy into you guys and to be able to show your support to you and to look up to those girls?
it's great to see them like strive and win a lot. And
It's nice to watch them win. We support them and what they do.
How motivated does that make you guys? I mean, you guys want to win a state championship when you get into high school now, right? So you guys want to keep that Austintown tradition alive. I mean, what was it like to watch this team win state and to realize that in a couple of years you guys are going to be in a position to do that yourselves?
Very exciting to strive for what they did and try to remake history.
All right, my last question for you guys. You're going into regionals. It's a bigger stage, bigger competition. What's it been like preparing? What are some of the things that you're most excited about making the trip down and to be in this regional tournament one step away from the Little League World Series?
we've put in a lot of work and practice before we leave right now, and I'm very excited to go play against different teams that we haven't played yet.
It's very exciting to get to see other teams because we don't know them as well, but we'll get to know them. I've heard you get to know other girls on teams that are very nice. So.
All right, what we do with our player profiles, no matter who we're interviewing, we want to do it. I want to give you each the opportunity to thank people in your lives that have supported you, that have made everything that you do possible, the people that have your back all the time. So why don't we want to give you each the time to kind of give anyone that you feel deserves a shout out.
Definitely my pitching coach and my parents to allow me to be the best version of myself.
My private coaches and my mother and father and my sister.
Awesome, guys. We'll swing that camera back to Coach and we'll have him just throw out some last thoughts and then we'll get you guys out of here.
All right.
Coach, my last question for you is just being able to watch these girls and watch them succeed and the two next to you and the rest of the team. As a coach, what kind of pride do you have heading to regionals, and whether you succeed in regionals or not, what's this experience been like for you to be their coach?
It's been awesome just to watch, these two, Mila and Annabelle, and the entire team. I've personally coached them, most of them, for 3 to 4 years plus. So just to watch their growth over that time, what we have right now, it didn't just start. It's been years in the making, and to see all of the girls' hard work pay off. I mean, that sounds cliche, but to know the pitching lessons, the hitting lessons, the fielding, and just the amount of reps that we put in as Austintown in our batting barn, doing fielding, hitting, live pitching, and hitting. It's awesome to see all their hard work pay off, and the dedication that they've had to the sport, to Austintown, and also to want to play at a higher level and go and play for their respective travel teams and just play year round. So it obviously makes it easier on me that I know the girls are getting reps year round, and we have such a close knit group. They all love each other. It's been an awesome journey, and I couldn't be more proud of this group and the families and the overall community. Just, it's been a blast.
I want to thank all of you for taking the time to join us today, and obviously wish you the best of luck in the regional tournament. If you want to watch Austintown go for a regional championship, all those games are going to be on ESPN Plus, so they're moving up on the broadcast world a little bit, which is exciting. So make sure to check them out as they try to fight for a regional championship, one step away from the Little League World Series. Coach and girls, thank you so much for joining us again, and we wish you the best of luck moving forward.
Thank you.
That was Matt Hamley of Austintown 12U softball, joined by members of his squad, Mila Hamley and Annabelle Mikesell. We thank them again for their time, and we wish them the best of luck in the regional tournament. We'll be watching, we'll be supporting and cheering you on. I have my Austintown softball shirt on. I understood the assignment. I got it on. I got it rocking, and we're going to be rocking Austintown all weekend, hoping that Austintown can bring home a regional trophy and take that next step into the Little League World Series. We wish you guys the best of luck. Thank you again for the time on today's episode of Running Point. We're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we'll wrap up the show. I do want to take time to talk about what a special night it's going to be at Eastwood Field for the Mahoning Valley Strappers tonight. They have a special event going on tonight. Well, I shouldn't say event. They have a special night going on tonight that is close to me, so we're going to talk about it after this break when we get back on Running Point. Brought to you, as always, by our good friends over at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
At Greenwood Chevrolet, we offer a worry-free experience for all our customers. From sales to financing and even service, we'll help build your perfect vehicle
and lock in your trade value
while your vehicle is being built.
No worries.
We guarantee financing,
regardless of your situation or credit history.
No worries. And when your vehicle needs service,
our award-winning team will get you back on the road.
No worries.
That's what going the extra mile means. Only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Change. This one word can make you break out in a cold sweat. But with change comes wisdom, experience, and understanding. At Myers Family Insurance, we can help make changes in Medicare, insurance, and retirement a positive experience for you and your family. We've gone through changes, like our new office and new faces to help our family of clients too.
For all your Medicare needs, call Myers Family Insurance. Check us out online at myersfamilyins.com or find us on Facebook.
You're not waiting to see what the world has in store for you. It's more about what you have in store for the world. All you need is the opportunity. All you need are the resources of a large university and the advantages of a personalized academic setting where you can experience new worlds in the arts and sciences, business, and education and make them your own. We are where you shape your future. We are Youngstown State University and proud.
Hi, I'm Colin Chupa.
And I'm Kelsey Clem from K-Squared Marketing.
Our boutique marketing firm specializes in media planning and buying, public relations, event marketing strategies, and strategic sponsorships.
We can integrate our services with your existing game plan, or we can be your entire marketing team.
Your goals, our game plan.
Let's win together. Call K-Squared Marketing at 330-623-2730 or visit ksquared.marketing to learn more.
Welcome back to Running Point on ysnlive.com. As always, it is brought to you by our good friends over at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. You heard from them during that break. They go the extra mile for you. We try to do the same here on this show every single day and follow their lead. Before we get out of here, we're gonna preview the weekend. What's going on, of course, NABF all weekend long. We went over the games that are happening for the Senior World Series. YSN will be down there for a great percentage of that coverage. We're on Scene 1 and Scene 3 tonight, so make sure to check out those games all over the weekend. Tomorrow's going to be the end of round 4 and 5, the quarterfinals, and then Sunday will be semifinals and the championship games for the NABF World Series. Tomorrow's also going to be the consolation games going on as well, so it's a busy weekend at Bobseen Park. Make sure you check out those games on ysnlive.com. Also, all of our Little League baseball teams are going down to state. 10U, 11U, and 9U divisions, Boardman and Poland. Poland 10U division, Boardman in the 10U as well as the 11U and the 9U. We want to wish them the absolute best of luck. They were great to cover throughout the district, and they're taking the next step trying to win a state tournament. So we wish all of those baseball teams the best of luck. We'll be keeping up with you. You guys can too on their Game Changer websites. You can go out and find all those teams on Game Changer and follow their road to a state championship game. Fingers crossed. And then we will also be keeping an eye on Austintown softball as well. 12U softball run in the regional starts on Sunday at 1 o'clock on ESPN Plus. Make sure to check that out as well. But one of the things that I want to talk about before we get out of here, last final thought, Scrappers are going to be playing tonight against the Trenton Thunder, and it is a awesome night in Eastwood Field as they are having the Disabilities Night at Scrapper Stadium. The jerseys they wear tonight will be auctioned off, and the proceeds will go to the Tri-County Boards of Developmental Disabilities, Columbiana County, Mahoning County, and Trumbull County. That is a it's an event that is very close to my heart. As a member of the disability community, my mom works for the Mahoning County Board of Developmental Disabilities at Leonard Kurtz School, and she takes out clients every week, and she takes them to a lot of Scrappers games. And when we signed the Scrappers, I remember being on the Running Point show when we announced it. We had members of the Scrappers executive staff on, and I wanted to take the time to thank them for what they do for the people in the disabled community in the area. And they still do it really well. Anytime my mom takes clients to a Scrappers game, it's nothing short of a great experience for them. They offer them free tickets to get them down there to the park. And it's a great job by the Scrappers to reach out to the people in their community that need their help. And tonight is no different. They're going to have one, great baseball, but two, like I said, the jerseys that you see tonight are going to be auctioned off if you are able to, and if you feel inclined to. Think about getting a part of that auction and getting yourself a jersey from the Scrappers tonight. The disabled jerseys will be auctioned off. The proceeds will go to the Mahoning, the Trumbull, and the Columbiana County boards for the developmentally disabled. And it's a wonderful night at Eastwood Field. Ty Bartell will be on the call for the broadcast as well, so make sure you tune into that. And it'll be against the Trenton Thunder. 7:05 is your first pitch. They will have the weekend series against Trenton. All those games will be on ysnlive.com for the MLB Draft League. So make sure to tune in to those. For Scrappers games, we have NABF over the weekend, and we also have Little League Softball we're going to be keeping an eye on as well. So Little League Softball and baseball we're going to be keeping an eye on as well. State for baseball, regional for softball. That'll do it for today's episode of Running Point. We're going to wrap up the week with a nice little bow there. I want to take the time to thank Matt Hamley and Mila Hamley and Annabelle Mikesell, all three of those people, for taking the time to come on and do an interview for the show. Good luck in regionals to them. I want to thank them for their time. I want to thank everybody out there for watching today. This is Running Point. As always, we are brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. They go the extra mile for you. We will see you on Monday